Hey everyone, so in today's video, I am here to talk about the new Kosas Revealer Foundation. I have picked up 3 different shades to share with you guys today, but if you are not familiar with the Kosas Revealer Concealer, this has become really my holy grail concealer, and I would say that I can appreciate most concealers, but the concealers that are really good for my hollow under eyes, I would say that's sparse, and this one has really deeply impressed me since its launch. Now, when Kosas said that they were going to be coming out with this foundation, I about freaked out, and I had like insanely high expectations for this foundation. If it didn't go right, it could break a little bit of trust that I have with the brand, just because this product really, again, it was a holy grail and still is a holy grail for me. I actually picked up all 3 of the lightest shades. So I have the shade 100, 110, and 120, and I will leave swatches up for you guys now. I also wanted to swatch next to them all 3 of the lightest concealers as well. So we have 1.5C, as well as 0.5 Neutral, which is a newer shade that I wanted to pick up for this video, just to give you a better context if you are a fan of the concealer, which one of the foundations would make sense shade-wise. Now, I will say in general, regarding Kosas' shades, they do lean more on the yellow side, as a lot of people have talked about before. I was really glad when Kosas did expand the shade range within the concealers, because they allowed for a little bit more nuance. If you do have very fair skin that leans more on the pink side, I do feel like in general their range does not cater to that. That's something that I have found and I've heard other people talk about. I also wanted to provide you guys with a bunch of different swatches of some foundations in my collection, including some new releases like the Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin, as well as the NARS, so you guys can go ahead and take a look at those. I really hope it's helpful. I've gotten that feedback before and wanted to make sure in today's video that I made sure and went ahead and did that. By the way, if you guys do end up finding the video helpful and you decide to make any purchases, using my links down below does help support my channel, and of course no pressure to do that, but I do appreciate it. Now, Kosas says that this foundation is a skin improving medium coverage with SPF 25. It has hyaluronic acid, niacinamide, peptides, squalane, vitamin B5, arnica, and caffeine. And caffeine is actually the ingredient in the Kosas Revealer Concealer that I really appreciated, because you know, a lot of brands come out with foundations and they say, we added this, this, and that, and it's going to really help to improve the look of your skin. But I gotta be honest, I don't often expect my makeup products to do the job of my skincare items. The one thing I will say though with the Kosas Revealer Concealer is that it never exacerbates any dryness that I have, which is really huge since my under eyes do lean more dry. And the caffeine really helps to depuff the under eye area, which I also super appreciate, especially in the morning. So going into this foundation, I am keeping that in the back of my mind that Kosas has added other beneficial ingredients into their products. I have noticed these nuances and these benefits. Now, I haven't been using this long enough to say, you know, it's completely changed my skin. I did think it would be worth noting that I do notice the caffeine, especially in the Kosas concealer. Also, the SPF in here is zinc oxide. It is 7.5% zinc oxide, which I think is good. If you are going to go with a sunscreen in a foundation, I think it's good to try to lean to the mineral, because it does have less of a chance of irritating the skin. Kosas says that this is a liquid foundation with a medium coverage, natural finish. According to my notes, they say that it blends like a second skin with a natural dreamy finish to blur, visibly smooth the texture and minimize pores. First of all, the packaging is glass. With the original concealer, it is plastic. They have moved to glass packaging, but again, they match very beautifully. You do get a pump with it. The texture of this product, I would say, is more on the thin side. It's not super liquidy like a skin tint might be though. Coverage, I would say, is in line with what Kosas says. You can definitely sheer it out, and I, for the first few days, kind of just wore it as a sheer base. But today, and for the demo, I wanted to make sure that I showed you the product with the medium coverage that it promises, and I definitely think that you can get it to a really nice medium medium coverage very easily. It wants to build on itself. Something that I noticed immediately while using this product is how closely it really does sit on the skin to give you that second skin effect that Kosas is talking about. You know, some products that are more on the thin and liquidy side, they sit very closely on the skin, but sometimes it can actually look flat, especially with these products that we talk about that blur the skin and offer like a minimized pore look. A lot of brands tend to create those foundations with more of like a matte finish, and I'm glad that more brands are experimenting with these pore minimizing, blurring finishes of foundations in products that aren't super matte. I would say that the finish of this foundation leans more on the natural to dewy side, but it has that lovely creaminess that Kosas talks about. And I think that really, I was immediately super happy with it because of that blurring effect and that natural creamy look on the skin while being a foundation that sits very closely. I was very impressed that this was able to sit so closely on the skin while offering that blur and offering this beautiful radiance. It really, I'm not wearing any powder today, just the foundation, and it just offers this gorgeous, healthy skin effect. I notice the blur of this foundation, especially right in here on my cheeks. It actually looks like there is like a filter on my skin. When I look at it up close, I'm very impressed by the blurring power of this foundation, while again, it's still giving you this really radiant finish. With some more radiant products, because they reflect and they look more dewy, okay, sometimes you're gonna see pores more often just because of the light reflection quality of it, but I'm really excited by the duality of this foundation, the way it can give you this gorgeous radiance, this healthy skin, fresh facial look, while also offering that beautiful blur. And it's really exactly what Kosas describes it as. And by the way, I didn't read the description of this foundation before I started applying it. And then when I went back to see what their claims were, I was like, wait a second, it really lines up. And that does not always happen, and it doesn't always deliver when brands say, you know, it's gonna do this and that. You know, I like to be the one to test and then go back and see if it matches up, and this definitely did. If you guys are familiar with the new NARS foundation, these are pretty similar. This one is a little bit more on the dewy side, and that one is a little bit more lightweight on the skin as well. I would say that this is a little bit fresher looking, and the NARS is a little bit more perfected. So for an everyday or a really glowy, pretty medium coverage, this is going to give you more dew and more glow, whereas the NARS is a little bit more in the middle as far as finish. Both are very beautiful. I'm very impressed with both, but I feel like this one is so nice for wintertime, for that glowy, pretty, but blurred skin look. I just love when I can put on a foundation and feel really happy and kind of giddy about it. Just throwing it out there, when I have been trying out the new Charlotte's Beautiful Skin Foundation, as a whole, there's nothing that I don't really like about it, and it looks nice, but you know when there's just something missing, it just doesn't make you super excited and like makes you want to smile. That product is good, but I'm never caught applying it being like, wow, I just feel really pretty. I really feel like my skin looks gorgeous. This product gives me that feeling. I apply it and I'm immediately kind of smiling and happy. Isn't that what makeup is about? Makeup should make you feel like that. And I was very happy that this product lived up to the expectations that I had for it, because again, they were very high. And my experience right now is that, wow, I'm very pleased with it. Also, a note about the longevity and the way that this product wears. I'm actually very impressed with the wear time of this foundation. It still is very movable on the skin. It is more of a creamy finish. I do know that sometimes products that set down more than this foundation are going to last longer, but I have been very impressed with the way it looks on the skin as you continue to wear it. It actually, for me, it doesn't get more dewy, which is a little bit surprising. I was kind of expecting, you know, more radiance to happen throughout the night, but this one really stays in place beautifully. And I love that the blur and the kind of filtered look that it gives the skin also remains as you continue to wear it. I'm gonna throw it out there that I have also been trying out the new Saie powder. It's somewhere around here. When you use the Kosas foundation with Saie's new powder, it is epic skin. It is an epic, beautiful, beautiful look. I wore that yesterday and I was just blown away. Really, brands have stepped it up this year when it comes to their formulas with foundations. So many have been coming out and wow, that duo is it. It is absolutely gorgeous. And I also wanted to mention to you guys the product that this reminds me of. If you guys do watch my channel, you will know that one of my favorite foundations is the Shiseido Radiant Lifting Foundation. This product is very, very similar to that product. So if you're a fan of that one, you will definitely sincerely be a fan of this one. I would say this one is a touch more blurring, but the Shiseido Radiant Lifting Foundation also has this gorgeous dewiness and radiance, but with that touch of blur, and that's something that I've always really, really enjoyed about that product. And also maybe worth noting that if you feel like you can't find your shade within the Kosas, you could always go and look back at the Shiseido Radiant Lifting because the products are very similar. I will say that this one is a little bit thinner and a little bit less creamy on the skin than that one. I think it sits a touch closer on the skin, but I absolutely, absolutely love both. Something else worth noting too is that the Kosas does have mineral sunscreen, whereas I know that like Kaki, for example, can't use the Shiseido foundation because of the chemical sunscreen in there. It makes her break out. So again, if you're like, crap, I really wanted to try that one, but I know that that sunscreen might break me out, you could go ahead and go with the Kosas. I don't know how else to say it. I had insanely high expectations for this foundation and I am blown away by it. I am loving it. I love applying it every single time. I have repurchased this. This is my collection of Kosas concealers right now, but I've purchased this so many more times. I use it again every single day. And when I found out about this launch, I was saying, if I can get the look of the concealer all over my face and just a really workable, easy to use product that wears beautifully, gives me that radiance, all of the above, if I could have that in a foundation and it actually perform, then I'm gonna be impressed. And that, my friends, is the case with this. So today's demo, I actually used the shade 110, but I do feel like nowadays, you know, in the winter time, I'm probably more of the shade 100. If you guys do have any more questions about the foundation, please leave them down below. I'm here to help you guys. I will leave all of my links down below as well for your reference. I hope this video was helpful. If it was, please make sure to subscribe, give the video a thumbs up, and I will see you all in my next one.